Hi to whoever you are and wherever you are, maybe people in the UK or South America or United States or Europe. Just some ideas about questioning mind. So this is not an overview of questioning mind. This is just very specific because one of our questioning mind in our knowing groups in the UK is having a seminar next week, and this might be an inspiration, I hope so, to learning questions. First of all, from a negative point of view, I just come back from South America 3 weeks, and it is surprising to me how difficult it is for people to ask questions, to ask the right questions, and then to not be so driven by getting the answer. So when you ask people, what questions do you have? They basically may say, I don't have any. So, but I would highly suggest that we encourage in people to develop questions. The entire teachings of the Buddha, which is about truthful living and truth understanding, is based on questions. So he always asks questions. He himself asked questions that set him out on his path of awakening. The way to get wisdom is through interest. So becoming interest, sustaining interest. How can you be interested? Is a question. As soon as you have a question, things begin to change. If people come to me and say, I have a problem, I suggest to them, can you state it as a question? And the whole internal mechanism starts to change. A questioning means, aha, an opening. So it has to be a truthful questioning. For the people leading these seminars, it's important that you are well grounded in the theory. And chapter 9 of Masterwork is one. And then Knowledge of Freedom and Love of Knowledge also have chapters about them. So there are two ways to develop questioning mind. First of all is by yourself through writing. And let's discuss that another time. The other one is questioning where you help each other. Through writing is more substantial, but in the seminars it works well to do it with each other. And sometimes it can be very potent. So if you're working in pairs, two people talking to each other, the one who is asking the question cannot have any agenda, cannot have an opinion, needs to be very neutral. If it's a specific situation, like let's say I have a specific difficulty at work or at home or some kind of transitional phase, I first need to I have to describe in detail what's happening. Because you, as the one who helps formulating the question, you need to know the whole situation. So if I tell you about my situation, you pay attention to the details of my situation, like it's at home and it is with this person or with my son or daughter, and my daughter is this old and it's like that. So as you're listening to the story, go into the story. Imagine you're in the story. And the reason why that's so important is because the story itself will inform you what's really the way to go. It's already there. But the person who is involved in the situation is so preoccupied with it that the mind has narrowed down. It has become like this. It's only forward orientation, if that. And sometimes it's just this kind of orientation. So there's no eye and ear anymore for what happens around you. So if you are telling me your story, I'm trying to get details of what is happening. So you can always ask, what is happening? And then you describe it. So sometimes in a seminar, people ask me a hypothetical question. I said, no, this work is not for hypothetical questions. Then they say, well, if. No, not if. Then they say, you have. I said, no, I don't have. You have. So you start with I. So I'm in a situation in which, and then you describe the situation. And you, as the questioner who's helping the person to find his or her own question, you can have faith that the situation itself has the answer in it. So it's really important, if I would help you with questions, that you and I don't think that I know more and that I should give you an answer. Because if I give you an answer, it just will not sink in. It might help you for a day or two. But the best way is if you articulate the question so precise and so real that suddenly the question dissolves because you got it. And what is it that you got? You got the knowledge that's already in your body, in your being, in your space. So help people to ask a question. There are different levels of questions. You know, like the heart has different questions. A typical heart chakra question is, what is dear to you? So if you would just start with that, and this is different than what we talked about before, when you had a difficulty at work on a relationship, this is more like a reflection on your life, a reflection on your work. So then you can ask, what is really dear to you? But if I would say to you, what's really dear to you, you can't start with that. You first have to do some stillness, some kumne, some reflection, some mantra, some visualization. Because what is dear comes from a much deeper place than your thoughts. So you have thoughts are here and the depth is more here. So if you want a deeper place, you cannot have thought exchange. It needs to be still. And then if it would be you who wants to discover what is dear, you can ask yourself, what's really dear to me? And then wait. See what comes up. Maybe images, maybe memories. And don't say, oh, my daughter or my dog or something like that. They are dear to you, of course, but they don't last. There is something dear to you already for many, many years, maybe decennia, maybe longer than that. And it is somewhere down underneath in your being what is really dear to you. And you can connect with you. You can connect with it. It's very timeless. So ask the question and wait. So first some preparation, some kumne, some meditation, some visualization, some breathing, very good, deep breathing in the body, soft breathing in the heart, even breathing in the throat and the head. And then what is really dear to me? And wait and see what happens. That will be a heart question. A gut question would be more is like, what would really satisfy me? I'm not talking about a meal or a sexual encounter or something like that, but what would really satisfy you? In other words, what are the products that come out of your life? Someone who's just talking, like I do now, is not very satisfying. It may be inspiring and all of that, but satisfying, it's not. I don't have a product. I don't see what you do with this. If I would see what you do with this talk, then it might be satisfying to me. So satisfaction has to do with the gut level. What's satisfying? And those are the products of your life. And then a head question would be more, what direction is important? What direction would you like to go? What is really important to you? That could be a heart question, could be a throat question, but probably a head question. Now, let's stop for a moment. What is really important for you? Now you sift through things, you sort things out. That's more like a head question. Could have a very strong heart component. If you say, what's for you important now, you suddenly get the gut level involved. So the now is the gut level. And the joy is a throat question. So what is enjoyable to you? And it's always connected to something flowing. A communication, an interaction, feeling that you're making progress, that something is evolving or unfolding. So yes, what's important to you is a very good question. What's dear to you is a good one. What satisfies you? What products do you have? What benefits are there of your actions? And what is joyful for you? So those kind of the basic 4 questions.